Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club and another volume of my essential film reviews collection. Welcome back everyone. Thank you so much for being there. This is Heat from 1995, directed by Michael Mann, and as such it's a long one, so stretch out, relax, kick your shoes off, open a bottle of wine and a packet of chocolate biscuits. Go on, treat yourself. You're worth it. I, on the other hand, am going to be panic-stricken for the next 15 or so minutes as I try to not stumble and bumble over my own written word. This isn't my gig. I'm just trying to drum up some support for those books behind me and my ebooks, so I'm going to allow myself some silly stumbles and bumbles along the way. So let's just see how we do. Have no attachments. Allow nothing to be in your life that you cannot walk out on in 30 seconds flat, if you spot the heat around the corner. With typical Michael Mann understated and minimal opening credits, it's interesting to note immediately that both Robert De Niro and Al Pacino are noted jointly as top billing, and rightly so. However, it's De Niro who enters the screen first, after another typical Mann-style opening, gentle, stylised and glossy, as a train passes the camera and into the station. McCauley, Robert De Niro, is introduced via a slow-motion panning camera shot. However, this is quickly replaced as we follow his frenetic edited walk through a hospital to his ultimate goal, to steal an ambulance. We're briefly introduced to Lieutenant Vincent Hanna, Al Pacino. However, this is brief and we're back to Macauley's tight crew of robbers. Val Kilmer is excellent, if a little underused, as Chris. Tom Sizemore similarly as Michael, and cameos from Danny Trejo as Trejo and Kevin Gage as Waingro make up Macaulay's team. Donning hockey masks, we follow their pursuit of their first target, a bank securities vehicle carrying valuable bearer bonds. A brutal and bloody heist later, and the first of many, welcomes you to Michael Mann's Heat. With a tight screenplay again penned by Mann himself and his regular partnership with director of photography Dante Spinotti intact, this all-time classic is a brilliantly layered piece of cinematic history. Far more than a genre shootout heist film, familial breakdowns, intrigue, suspense and friendship are all on show and showcased by acting talents at the very peak of their careers. My favourite Michael Mann film, which all these years later and since its initial release has not aged a day and is a true masterclass in filmmaking. A male-dominated film, yet the female leads and supporting roles deserve a special mention. Amy Brenneman plays Edie and Neil McCauley's muse with a gentle yet heartbreaking style, with Diane Venora as Vincent Hanna's wife Justine the opposite, tough, hardened and seeking more from her husband. Special praise for yet another great performance from Ashley Judd as Charlene, similarly for a young Natalie Portman as Lauren, who as long ago as 1995 added another superb acting credit to her young career. In addition to the all-star cast already named, there are further supporting and cameo roles from as superb as always John Voight as Nate, McKelty Williamson as Sergeant Drucker, Dennis Haysbert as Donald Breeden, and William Fixner as Roger Van Zant. Jeremy Piven, Tone Loc, and a returning Tom Noonan are also notable cast members in minor cameo roles. The film is renowned and celebrated for two short key scenes within its glorious length of nearly 3 hours. So without further ado, my amateur treatment of those key scenes. Face to Face. With the first introduction of a distinctive music track, Moby's New Dawn fades as a thumping prelude. Vincent Hanna pursues Neil McCauley until, flashing him down and briefly speaking at the roadside. Both the lieutenant and his prey go for a coffee. Going down as one of recent cinema's most iconic moments, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino share screen time for the first time in a short 6-minute scene, and as with a number of scenes throughout the film, this scene in particular is based on real-life events, as thoroughly researched by the director leading up to the making of the film. Shot in a regular busy diner with 4 camera angles in total, a long shot across each other's shoulders, plus a similar but tighter zoom shot. The scene is edited far longer than usual, allowing both actors to breathe and play out their, at times jovial, conversation. Despite the positions each other hold in the film, the conversation veers from their respective histories to family, their dreams and aspirations, even their respective failings. Most of their conversation is known to the other, yet they play their parts straight, not wanting to give away valuable insights, and yet they are still playful at times, smiling, sometimes wryly at each other. Pacino's Hanna rarely looks away from De Niro's McCauley, however De Niro stares at Pacino the entire time, never averting his gaze. It's a gem of a scene. Hanna, you never wanted a regular type life? McCauley, what is that, barbecue and ball games? Hanna, I don't know how to do anything else. McCauley, neither do I. The bank heist. Walking out of a seemingly successful bank robbery, we were about to see 7 minutes of pure Michael Mann genius. Unaware of the police moving in, smiles abound in the getaway car from McCauley, Michael and the newly acquired driver. However, Val Kilmer's Chris and his smile is replaced with concern and repeated gunfire as the gang come under attack. A ferocious gunfight ensues, the most bloody and violent of the film, with Mann quickly moving the cameras, plural, in all directions, and with quick editing disorientating the audience. Trying to make their escape leads to 2 further iconic Mann shots of the getaway car and its occupants firing in all directions, and McCauley, seeing danger ahead, firing ferociously through the windshield in slow motion. With the getaway driver killed, the gang try to make their escape on foot against the backdrop of a wall of police cars in one direction, and Pacino's Hanna running at them from the other. With frenetic editing between all main characters and close-ups of their running battles, the scene continues at a pace, with a constant firefight, and the cameras, plural again, seemingly right in the middle of the action. Chris is downed with a shot to the shoulder, and McCauley comes to his aid, and firing their way through the remaining police lines, there is a brief lull in the firefight. During this very brief lull in the gunfight, the camera pans around at a scene of utter carnage and destruction. Dead and injured police officers litter the street, and police cars riddled with bullets are scattered everywhere. McCauley and Chris try to make their escape, now with Hanna in pursuit. Making their way through a busy car park and McCauley holding off the police, they make their escape, and we quickly cut to Tom Sizemore's Michael doing likewise. Using a child as a human shield, he attempts to make his escape, still on foot but in the other direction. However, he is quickly tracked down by Hanna and shot through the head, bringing the 7-minute, breathtaking scene to a close. This masterpiece is far more than a brutal shootout. All these years on, it still looks as fresh and as engaging as ever. A genuine piece of cinematic art. Director of photography Dante Spinotti deserves enormous credit alongside his director Michael Mann for so many iconic scenes not already noted in this brief appraisal. In addition to the 2 brief scenes and the brief opening noted above, there is a further 2.5-hour film scattered in between of true genius. As well as bringing life to so many iconic scenes, there are numerous more subtle touches brought to the film by Mann and Spinotti. The blue scenes of McCauley's apartment are superb and blend together with other colour themes throughout and all of Mann's films. There are many nighttime scenes throughout of wide panning shots of the city from helicopters and always a constantly moving camera and sharp edited camera angles from multiple cameras. As with all classic films, Heat is accompanied throughout by a pulsing, throbbing musical score from Elliot Goldenthal and a brilliantly eclectic choice of music tracks from Moby, Brian Eno, Passengers, Lisa Gerrard and William Orbit, to name but a few. The soundtrack to the film is highly recommended. A film that endures over time and still looks as pinpoint and vivid today as it did when I first watched it in 1995. Heat, directed by Michael Mann. Almost. Couple of minor stumbles. We'll forgive ourselves, shall we? Did you open that bottle of wine, did you? Did you, you little devil, you? Go on, treat yourself. I hope you open that packet of chocolate biscuits too. I'm going to continue with the wine and chocolate biscuits theme until the end of time. Who cares? It's just me and you, it's just you and me. We're just larking around in front of a video camera. This isn't my gig and I try. And I try and I try and I try. Anyway, right, thanks very much for being there. Thanks for watching. This was Heat, directed by Michael Mann. It's one of my favourite all-time films and ranks alongside the other 350 all-time favourite films in my collection. Some of them I brought to you here, many of which I've actually read to you quite well. That one, 8 out of 10, 8.5, who cares? Right, thanks very much for being there, thanks for watching. I bid you peace and solidarity. I thank you for watching. I hope the world is spinning and turning in your direction, in your corner of the world. Peace and solidarity. Thanks very much for watching. Please be careful out there, everyone. Peace.